Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, in today's session we are going to study about the measurement of hardness. Whether it is temporary hard water or permanent hard water, it is because of certain minerals, cations, anions or certain salts present in it. It's very important to know the quantity of those, and thus in today's session we are going to study how to measure all those into the water and determine the hardness of water. Measurement of hardness. The extent of hardness is measured in terms of concentration of ions contributing to the hardness. Now over here when I talk about ions, I talk about two ions, positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. Mostly water is classified into two forms, temporary hard water and permanent hard water. The temporary hard water consists of calcium and magnesium, carbonates and bicarbonates. The permanent hard water consists of calcium and magnesium chlorides and sulfides. So now when I'm talking about a calcium bicarbonate or a calcium chloride, both of them are salts and these salts are made up of ions. That means the amount of ions, if they are high, the concentration of the ions is high, and if the concentration of the ions is high, the hardness of water is to the higher extent of it. It is usually expressed in terms of equivalent amount of CaCO3. Now we take CaCO3 as standard. As we take hydrogen standard for all the other elements, over here while calculating the hardness of water, we take CaCO3 as a standard for calculating for all the other hardnesses present. And that's the reason why we'll take gram equivalence of CaCO3. The equivalence of CaCO3 is convenient precisely because the molecular weight of CaCO3 is 100. So whatever we get in our solution, for example, if we take a sample A and if we have to compare it with CaCO3, we have to compare it with a number which is 100. And since the number is 100, that means it is very easier to compare. So how do we calculate the molecular weight of it? It will be 40 plus 12 plus 16 into 3. So when we do 40 plus 12 plus 16 into 3, we get as 100. Now since 100 is a very simple number, we can divide or multiply integers accordingly with the equivalence of CaCO3. Equivalent weight is 50 over here. The other reason this compound is being formed which gets precipitated during water treatment. So whenever we are treating calcium carbonates or bicarbonates, or whenever we are going to treat calcium chloride, one precipitate which generally will form is CaCO3. There are two reasons for using CaCO3. Firstly, its equivalent mass number or the molecular weight. Both of them are very easy when it comes to calculations. The second form is because of the precipitate it forms, and that's the reason why both of these reasons are extremely important. Now let's see the calculation of CaCO3 equivalence. The equivalent of CaCO3 for a hardness causing substance can be calculated by using the following formula. There is one common formula for calculating the hardness of CaCO3. This is one of the most important formulas over here. That is, equivalent of CaCO3 will be equal to mass of hardness producing substance, whichever the hardness producing substance is. It can be either carbonate or bicarbonate of calcium and magnesium. It can be either a chloride or a sulfide of calcium, magnesium, even at times aluminium or iron. Whatever I have to take the mass of it. So it will be mass of the hardness producing substance into the chemical equivalent of CaCO3 upon the chemical equivalent of the hardness producing substance. So over here totally we have three things. The first is mass of hardness producing substance. The second is chemical equivalent of CaCO3. And the last one is chemical equivalent of the hardness producing substance. We multiply the first two and divide it finally by the chemical equivalent of the hardness producing substance. So this is mass of hardness producing substance into 50. So now from where did we get 50? Over here we had chemical equivalent of CaCO3, and chemical equivalent of CaCO3 is 15. The molecular formula of CaCO3 is 100, but the chemical equivalent is 50. And that is the reason why we'll multiply the mass of the hardness producing substance into 50 and divide it with chemical equivalent of the hardness producing substance. For example, 162 parts by mass of CaHCO3 twice, that is calcium bicarbonate, or 2 equivalents. Why? Because we have CaHCO3 twice, which is a 2 equivalent, will react with the same amount of soap as 100 parts by mass of CaCO3 or 2 equivalent. So over here we have been given 162 parts and we have been given 100 parts. And therefore what will it be multiplied? By a factor of 50 by 81. Now from where did we get this 50 or from where did we get 81? This 50 corresponds to nothing but 100. That means 100 divided by 2 is 50 and 162 divided by 2 is 81. And thus we got it as 50 by 81 to give the mass in terms of CaCO3 equivalence. So over here we have all the different salts. We have the molecular weights of them. We have the equivalent weights of the same. And finally we have multiplication factor. Let us start with the first one, that is the salts of calcium. So I have 5 salts of calcium, starting off with CaHCO3 twice, that is calcium bicarbonate. The molecular weight of calcium bicarbonate is 162. Now this 162 will have an equivalent weight of half of what it is. So when I do 162 divided by 2, 162 divided by 2 will give me 81. And the multiplication factor will be 100 by 162. If I want to reduce this multiplication factor, I can also reduce it to 50 to 81, where I divide 100 by 2 and also 162 by 2. The next over here I have is CaSO4. This CaSO4 has a molecular weight of 136. When I divide this 136 by 2, it becomes 68. So 136 divided by 2 is 68. So the molecular formula being 136, the equivalent weight will be half of what the molecular formula is. That means the equivalent weight will be 68. The multiplication factor can be either 100 by 136 or we can either divide 100 by 2 and 136 by 2, and that can also be my reduced form of the multiplication factor. Moving further, I have CaCl2, my calcium chloride. Now this calcium chloride has a molecular weight of 111. When I find out its equivalent weight, I just divide this 111 by 2 and I get the equivalent weight of calcium chloride as 55.5. Again, the multiplication factor will be 100 upon 111. Moving further to CaCO3. Now this CaCO3 has a molecular weight of 100. Thus, it will have an equivalent weight of 100 divided by 2, which is 50. Now the multiplication factor over here can be 100 upon 100, or it can be 100 divided by 2, which is 50, with 100 divided by 2, which is 50, which is 50 by 50. But finally the multiplication factor over here will be 1. Why? Because 100 by 100 is also 1 and 50 by 50 is also 1. Now the next one I have is CaNO3 twice. The molecular weight of CaNO3 twice is 164 and the equivalent weight of CaNO3 twice will be 164 divided by 2, which will be 82. And thus the multiplication factor will be 100 upon 164, or it can be 100 divided by 2, that is 50, upon 164 divided by 2. It can be 100 divided by 2, that is 50, with 164 divided by 2, which is 82. So over here the multiplication factors can be reduced if needed, but not in all. For example, there is no need of reducing 100 upon 111. There is no point doing that because this 111 will lead to 55.5. We have these multiplication factors for our own simplicity because they are with 100. If we want a reduced version of it, we can get a reduced version of it, or else even keeping this in this way is fine. The next set of salts over here are salts of magnesium. Now these salts of magnesium are also 5. Let us start with magnesium bicarbonate, which is MgHCO3 twice. Now this MgHCO3 twice has a molecular weight of 146 and has an equivalent weight of 146 divided by 2, which is 73. The multiplication factor of the same can be either 100 divided by 146 or it can be 50 upon 73. Next, moving on to MgSO4. MgSO4 has a molecular weight of 120 and equivalent weight of 60. 120 divided by 2 gives me 60. Again, it can have the multiplication factor as 100 upon 120, or else it can have it as 50 upon 60. Moving further, we have MgCl2. Now this MgCl2 is 95. Dividing 95 by 2, I get it as 47.5. The multiplication factor can be either 100 upon 95 or it can be 50 upon 47.5. But 100 upon 95 is a much better number than 50 upon 47.5. Moving on, we have MgCO3. The molecular weight of MgCO3 is 84. When I find the equivalent weight of it, it will be 84 divided by 2, which boils down to 42. So this is 100 upon 84 or 50 upon 42. Lastly, we have MgNO3 twice. This is 148. Dividing 148 by 2, I get 74. So this will be 100 upon 148 or 50 upon 74. Next set of salts are other salts, the gases and the acids. Now which all other salts are there? I have 5 salts over here, NaAlO2. When I find the molecular formula of NaAlO2, it comes down to 82. The equivalent weight will also be 82 over here. The next salt we have over here is NaAlO2, which is sodium aluminate. Now if you see sodium aluminate, it does not use 2 equivalents of CaCO3. It uses just 1 equivalent of CaCO3. And when it uses 1 equivalent of CaCO3, the molecular weight, which is 82, will be equivalent weight, which is 82. So over here the molecular weight will be equal to the equivalent weight. Till now, we were getting the equivalent weight as half of the molecular weight, which is not happening over here. Over here, the molecular weight is equivalent to my equivalent weight. But in the multiplication factor, I double it because I'm using 100 over here and not 50 for CaCO3. Thus, it becomes 100 upon 164. Next, we have is Al2SO4 thrice. We see a thrice over here, that means it is using 3 equivalents of CaCO3. So now this is 3 equivalents of CaCO3, and since it has 3 equivalents of CaCO3, what will happen over here, whatever its molecular weight is, which is 114, we'll have to multiply it by 3. So 114 into 3 will give me 342 over here, but the equivalent weight will not be half of this. It will be half of the molecular weight over here. So 114 divided by 2, which is 57. This is my molecular weight. This is my equivalent weight. So why I have written 342 below molecular weight over here? Because I'm using 3 equivalents of CaCO3. And that's the reason why I'm going to multiply my molecular weight by 3. So this is 114 into 3. So it will be 114 into 3, which boils down to 342. This will be 114 divided by 2, which boils down to 57. And finally, I have my multiplication factor as 100 upon 114. Moving further, we have FeSO4.7H2O. Over here, FeSO4.7H2O has the same molecular weight over here and the multiplication factor over here. That means it uses proper 1 amount or 2 equivalents of CaCO3. And we divided it by 2 for the equivalent weight, which we get it as 139. So over here, either we can use 100 upon 278 or 50 upon 139. We have HCl over here, H plus and Cl minus. Now this HCl has 36.5 and 36.5 as molecular weight and equivalent weight. Why? Because this is just one Cl. It will not use 2 equivalents of CaCO3. It will use just 1 equivalent of CaCO3, and that's the reason why the molecular weight, which is 36.5, will be equal to the equivalent weight, which is 36.5, and the multiplication factor will be double of 36.5, which is 73. So this will be 100 upon 73. Finally, we have CO2 over here. CO2 has a molecular weight of 44 plus the equivalent weight will be 22. Why? Because 44 divided by 2 will be 22. Now the multiplication factor will be either 100 by 44 or 50 by 22. Moving to the fourth category, and this category is of ions. The ions, we have 4 ions over here. The first one is HCO3 minus. The second is CO3 2 minus. The third is OH minus. And the fourth one is H plus. So over here, HCO3 minus, the molecular weight of HCO3 minus will be 61. and that will be the same equivalent weight of it, that is 61. Now the molecular weight is equal to the equivalent weight because it is using one equivalence of CaCO3, and thus the multiplication factor will be 100 divided by 122. Now instead of 100 divided by 122, we can also write it as 50 divided by 61, which is the reduced form of the multiplication factor. The next we have is CO3 2-. Now this CO3 2- has the molecular weight of 60, and we'll divide this molecular weight by 2. Now why do we have to divide it by 2? Because of the equivalent weight. This equivalent weight is half of it because it has 2 equivalents of CaCO3. CO3 2- is my another ion over here. The molecular weight of the ion is 60 and the equivalent weight of the ion is 30. That is 60 divided by 2, that is 30 over here. And the multiplication factor can be 100 divided by 60 or it can be 50 divided by 30. We have OH- ion, my hydroxide ion, which is 17, 17 and 100 by 34. Now why do we use 17, 17 and 100 by 34? Because it uses just one equivalence of CaCO3, and that is the reason why the molecular weight and the equivalent weight of OH- ion, both of it will be 17. Finally, I have the H+ ion, and this H+ ion is just 1 and 1 because this is hydrogen. Hydrogen has 1 proton and 1 electron. When we remove the electron from it, the only thing which remains in hydrogen is a proton. That means H+ is nothing but a proton, and thus the molecular weight of H+ will be 1 and the equivalent weight of H+ will also be 1. Thus the multiplication factor will be 100 divided by 2 or it can be 50 divided by 1. So over here in today's session, we studied the measurement of hardness of water. We also studied how to calculate the CaCO3 equivalence. We saw many examples and calculated them. We also saw the multiplication factors and how we can use and reduce the multiplication factors. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned to Ekeeda and subscribe to Ekeeda.